Computer. Hello, everybody, to the Intersect Town Hall. And today we kick off with over 29 people currently in the call. At the beginning, Vanessa will lead us into the town hall and share a bit what is town hall about.
All right, well, this is Town Hall for the 29th of August, which is run for now by Swarm, but hopefully soon enough it'll be run by the whole community. So, first of all, what is Intersect? Let's have a quick introduction. Intersect is a member-based organisation for the Cardano ecosystem, and it's tasked with ensuring that Cardano has continuity and its future development is secured and bringing stakeholders together. You can find out more at the link there. So, what's a town hall? Well, a town hall is a regular meeting place for a community to come together, share its updates, and discuss important issues. It's somewhere where you can reach many people at once from your community, from all sections of the community. And it's an open space where anyone can stand up and share something. But there is a structure. So we have sections where different parts of the community can bring content. So, in other words, it's shaped by the community that it serves. So, its nature and what it's like depends on who is here. I'm very glad we are to have all of the people here who are here today. Now, what's an after town hall? After Town Hall is basically an informal community-led event that happens immediately after a town hall, hence the name. It consists of a series of breakout rooms, each one facilitated by a community member about a topic that's of interest to them. For example, they might share something that they're working on, or they might discuss an issue that they care about. The breakout rooms all happen simultaneously, and you choose which one you want to go to. So anyone can sign up to run one, and you can run it in whatever style you like. And the Swarm Town Hall team can offer you support with planning, facilitating, or documenting. Just let us know in the sign up form, which is on the next slide. There's a QR code to it there, and it's just first come, first served. So please do sign up if you fancy running one. Right, this is today's agenda. We're in the middle of the opening and intro now, then we'll move to a Zoom polling topic. There'll be an update from our town hall planning sessions, and then there's lots of updates from committees, working groups, grant awarded teams, and special interest groups. And then an update from the Intersect staff team. Then we have a little connect and integrate section, which some of you who've been here before will know about. And then we move to after town hall.
Yeah, one thing before we will go to the Zoom, I thought I will share a bit of what happened in the last town hall. And yeah, so we will have some video, of course, out, so you can check. There will be links on the chat, so you can later look it up. We also had an after town hall, so if you were missing that out, that's an additional video. You can look into it. And of course, after every town hall, we do a summary where all of these links and information is aggregated together. Jumping right into the poll, and so every time we like to try to take one question, and today we were going to have a question on which words do you think are most misunderstood or misused in Intersect? And so everybody should have an option for polls and quizzes icon in the Zoom settings, or if your screen is small, then under the more sections you will have a button for polls and quizzes. Over the course of this rest of the updates, I might update a bit and remind there is a polling going on. As you can see, every now and then new people are joining, and I will just add another 4 people in. And check out who will join, because some of them might, again, unmute themselves. Yeah, so that will be the polling. Next one is town hall planning sessions, and Vani will share a bit of that.
Yeah, so the planning sessions happen twice in a month, the first 2 weeks of the month usually. And the key issues in August, first of all, firming up our survey about Town Hall. You can see the link there. I'll post it in the chat in a minute. We're asking people to tell us what you think about Town Hall and how it should be in the future. We also focus quite a lot on getting updates from working groups and how we do that and how we reach all the people that are doing so much hard work and get them to bring something to town hall and what the lines of communication are. There was quite a lot of discussion about that in the planning sessions. So yeah, Tevo, if you just want to jump to the link to the community problem board, people are of course welcome to have a look at it and add things to it. You can see there things that are kind of have been raised and fixed, things that are being worked on, and in the first column, problem is identified. We've had some really interesting comments from someone who I don't actually know, but if you're here, OMG, thank you for raising them, and I hope you'll show up maybe at a planning session to talk about things further. I don't know if you just want to like open a link there, Tevo, on yeah, low participation in working groups, just to see the kind of things that people are raising. Yeah, participation over the long term is very likely to, yeah, I'm struggling to read that because it's quite small on my screen, but if you can zoom in a little bit. Yeah,
Participation over the long term very likely relates to feeling heard. Any system that cannot feel fresh faces will suffer from bias and old faces. Feeling heard isn't possible for town hall until asynchronous mechanisms are in place. Beware the working groups that exclude members from expediency's sake.
I mean, it feels like there's a story behind that. And this is the kind of issue that we hope that town halls and town hall planning can address. But the ultimate aim of these planning sessions is to kind of get people in the community able to run town halls at the end of this year when the swarm contract ends. Cheers, Tivo. That's kind of all I had to say on that.
Now we go to the community committee working groups, all the special interest groups. And yeah, these are actually the slides that invite people to submit. So what just Vanessa mentioned, like we don't want to create slides for you and find the updates from your meeting summaries or somewhere in Discord or anywhere else. It would be cool if everybody, if they have something to share, come together in one place or some communication lines where we can take it. Else it's, as it scales, it gets somewhat like not scalable to, or not sustainable to always make updates on behalf of somebody else. And on the next slide, there is a template that we shared. We started it last town hall and we shared it to everybody, and then we go around in different communication channels to share it out. And yeah, now we have quite many results over that. So the first one would be governance tools workgroup, and Lorenzo is here from the team who could share a bit.
Sure, happy to go through this. So for context, the governance tools working group is the working group that is responsible for the Cardano governance tools, including GovTool and CC Portal. Over the course of these past months, we had reviewed the goals that as a group we think we should have for these governance tools going forward, and also longer term vision for where we think these tools are supposed to go, so we can also get budget for the future years. Because this working group is for, again, this GovTool, and GovTool is an open source tool owned and managed by the community. We also started to organize this community backlog. There is a link here in the slides. You can see what are the proposals from the community there. And also we started to have good connections and presentations from some of the core maintainers of these governance tools, such as Byron Network and Deepodon. There were some great presentations about the work that they did so far and what are we doing. So if anyone is interested, there are the recordings there. And yes, so there is a link to the Miro board, so you can see the work that we're doing. But if you want to join the conversation, we meet every week, 10 a.m. UTC or 4 p.m. UTC, depending on the week. I think next week is going to be 10 a.m. UTC. So anyone who wants to join, please, you're welcome. And that's the Google Meet link there. It was as quick as possible. Tevo, back to you.
And next one would be hard fork working group.
So my name is Matt, for those who don't know me. I work at Intersect. I'm also honoured to be the chair of the Hard Fork Working Group for the chain upgrade #1. So hopefully you're aware that on Wednesday, the Hard Fork Working Group voted, and we voted unanimously to initiate the Hard Fork, which will take place on September the 1st. We held a really interesting Q&A today, which isn't quite up on our YouTube yet, but it will be by the end of the day, around what happens at a hard fork for those of you that have never gone through it before, what to expect, what it feels like. The answer, quite reassuringly, is not a lot. It should be relatively calm. So I think there's another little link that will come up on this deck. But on Sunday the 1st, our very own Jack Briggs is going to host a couple of live events as we cross the threshold. So please follow our usual channels, join us on X, formerly Twitter, as we celebrate moving into the new era. But just to reiterate, if you haven't already heard, hopefully you have, that Chang #1 will happen this Sunday at about 9:44 UTC. That's it.
Pretty cool. Yeah, there are also the same socials as Intersect. Everything is there. All the updates will come through the common channels. Next up is Core Infrastructure Roadmap Working Group, and they share update about new special interest groups. This will be done by Juan.
Hi, everyone. So we are the Core Infrastructure Roadmap Working Group. We are supporting the product committee and to develop a process and define a scope that we can enable an inventory of essential services that support vital economic and social activities within Cardano. And we are working together with the Technical Steering Committee and the Budget Committee to take incoming proposals and test it against a growing list of core infrastructure work. So as you can tell, this list cannot be done without you, the community, and hence that's why we are setting up various special interest groups, or 6, for you to join and provide your input to guide the roadmap for 2025. So far, we've set up DeFi dApps, stake pool operators, scalability, and interoperability. We're also looking to set up Cardano tokens and identity in the near future as well. To join the 6, all you need to do is to click the link below, and then that will lead you to the list of 6 listed on this slide. Select the ones you are keen to follow and make sure that you click on the follow button that's in the picture under the more 3 dots. So please don't forget to click on the follow button, otherwise you might miss any important developments on these respective forums. We are also setting up a AMA on the product 6 next Wednesday at 2 p.m. UTC. Together with Sam Ladders, we'll be there to explain what, the whys, and how-tos, and more. So please be sure to look out for the Discord event page before the end of the week. And that's it from the core infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm looking at the chat and I see there is a question for probably the previous slide about hard chunk update. Matt, would you be able to answer that?
Yeah, I was just reading it. So we had 3 thresholds for going into Chang. So the only technical threshold that we required was SBOs to be at 75% by stake. The second threshold, which had a number associated to it, was liquidity. It doesn't have a technical bearing, but obviously it impacts people's trading. So we had to wait for that to get a reasonable proportion. So I think we were aiming for 85%. Both liquidity by stake, although liquidity does fluctuate quite a lot, and SBOs are now both about 92%. And the third criteria is really subjective, and it is dApps. So we didn't set a specific threshold. All dApps are different. The development cycles are different. How they're impacted is different. But we are about, just trying to check, I think we're about 60% of the top 50 dApps by TVL have confirmed readiness. And this indicated 2 things to us. A, it was possible. So enough dApps have declared themselves ready for Chang. And 2, if a significant or that kind of proportion of dApps had, that we were confident that we would have teased out any bugs that were introduced in the last couple of versions. Bearing in mind that a lot of the Chang functionality has been available since 8.8, 8.9, and on CentroNet and other places. So there were the 3 factors, and I do appreciate that it's especially for the dApps and sort of downstream tooling, there are unknown impacts. It's a very diverse and intricate society that we can't begin to comprehend. But we had a feeling, we did a lot of research, we did more reach out to the community and dApps than we ever have for any other hard fork. and the feeling was really positive. And we have taken on board feedback from those where it's not been so positive, and we have already started conversations with the interim constitutional committee, who will be leading the next hard fork, to make sure that we hand over any lessons learned and pass on sort of valuable insights and ways of working to make the next hard fork even better and even more inclusive than this one. Hopefully that answers the questions.
We'll see. If there are gonna be more questions, then probably not. But moving on to the next section, committee and board seat elections.
Hi, let me just switch on my camera so you can see me. Hi, so my name's Karen. I'm the committee liaison, and I'm leading on the elections for the committee and board seats as part of the voting that will take place in October. So I just wanted to provide a very brief overview, but we do have a number of community engagement sessions which are taking place. So I'd encourage anyone to join one of those. We're also recording them, so if you prefer to watch them in your own time, then please feel free to pop across to our knowledge base where you can find those. So the next of our community engagement sessions is going to be held tomorrow, so the 30th of August at 10 AM GMT. I'd love to see some new faces there, and please come along and ask any questions that you may have about the approach and process that we're going to follow. Once we've concluded the engagement events on the process and approach that we're going to take, we are going to continue to run a series of question and answer sessions throughout September and October where you can just drop in and ask questions. We also have an open Discord channel where, again, you can just pop in and ask any questions that you have. To support this, we're also going to be arranging a number of open office type events across a few different platforms for committees to open their doors and community members to ask them any questions that they may have of the committees also. So just moving on to eligibility, this is one of the key factors that we just need to make sure the community members are aware of, and that's the eligibility to participate in these. So we need to just note that to be able to apply for a seat in a committee, you need to be either an individual or enterprise member or part of a CFAND organisation. To be able to vote, again, you need to be an individual or enterprise member. And the key thing here is that associates to Intersect are not eligible to stand in as standers for a committee seat or vote in this or any part of the AMM election. So that's the key thing, is we want to ensure that our associate community members have every opportunity to upgrade their membership should they so wish to participate in this process. That's just one thing to sort of have in mind. So a little bit more about the application. So the application portal is currently being tested, and that will go live to the community on the 9th of September through the member portal. And it will be open through to the 27th of September. So if you're not currently an individual or enterprise member or belong to a seed-founding organisation, you'll need to upgrade your membership before the 27th of September, should you want to participate in applying for a seat on a committee. In regards to voting, so if you want to partake in the voting, you'll have to ensure that you're an individual or enterprise member by the 30th of September. That'll be the cut-off date. And the voting will open on the 4th of October and close on the 17th of October. The date is fine, just to be confirmed in regards to when the elected candidates will be announced, but it will be part of the Cardano Forum event in Dubai at the end of October. I see some comments about acronyms. Apologies again for that. I will make a note to take those out for future presentations. That's everything from me. Thank you.
Okay. Next one, we are going to move to committees. And this one will be Membership and Community Committee by Nori.
All right. My name is Nori Nishigaya. I'm the co-chair along with Mark Byers of the Membership and Community Committee. Currently, the focus of the committee as a whole is really we're narrowing down onto the AMM and the elections coming up in October. Half of the seats on the MCC will be up for election, so we'll be voting in 5 new members. And then in April, we will have the second election and the full committee will cycle through. We currently have 4 working groups. We have the AMM working group head up by Utah and the local hubs to make sure the AMMs are continuing to deliver high value for all of our members. We have a grants working group head up by Katarina, who are working on making sure we're looking at the effectiveness of the grants program, looking at it overall and seeing how it went for the first round of grants and how we can improve it for the next year. Community support working group headed up by Laura. And this is really to support the community in different ways. Some of the focus has been around the Discord reorganization. There has been some initiatives around a code of conduct and other things like that. Then the last working group is the group design working group with Matthew. And that one is really looking at process and lifecycle stuff around SIGs working groups and things like that. And the MCC has just minted 4 new SIGs. And these were submitted by the community as special interest groups that people wanted to have set up. So we have I don't know if we're going to give links to the slides, but that link is a link to a GitHub project where we show the different life cycle of the different SIGs that have applied under the MCC. So you can see applied, approved, Discord set up and different things. So we have kind of a life cycle flow going there. And then of course we're setting up our Gitbook. We're a little bit administratively behind getting that set up. A little bit of a manpower and a time issue, but we're getting there. So our hope is to get all of the meeting minutes up on our Gitbook, and then the meeting recordings and all that will happen soon. And all of that exists. It just needs to be put up into the Gitbook. And then to back up, I guess, to the beginning, I should state that the Membership and Community Committee's purpose is really to champion member value within Intersect. And we're also, the community side of things is really looking at how can we support the community. And we're kind of exploring what that means versus membership as well. So I think there's still some definition work to be done around this to understand community versus members. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out at any time. And Tebo has put some of the links in chat. You can see the SIG map at the top. And there is a link if you want to set up a special interest group. There's a sign up form and that'll allow you to fire one up, and then you can get your own Discord channel. And it's a very loose structure. We want SIGs to be easy to set up, easy to start, and really based around community interest around what you want to talk about. Yeah. That's the MCC.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna have a lot of SIGs because every committee seems to be making new ones. So that's good because there is a lot of this to discuss when we talk about governance. And yeah, about slides, I think after we're done here, I will drop them in. Next up, Open Source Committee by Tex.
All right, thanks so much. So yes, everyone, I am Tex. I'm the Open Source Program Manager here at Intersect. I also am the Secretary for the Open Source Committee. The Open Source Committee, if you're not aware, is basically directing or overseeing everything that we do for open source through the Open Source Office. So there's a very tight relationship between the two of us here. But the Open Source Committee has been open since last year in August. And as we were still in that, or as all the committees were still in their interim phases, we had not yet filled out all of our seats during the first year. So what we are doing now is we are backfilling our empty seats. We've already collected candidacy. Those candidates will have their opportunities over a couple of different sessions that are going to be posted on the Discord, or rather they are in the Intersect events calendar there. So you're more than welcome to join to find out more about the candidates. The voting we are very excited about is opening tomorrow, August the 30th. It is going to be somewhat of a two-part process. There's a registration that you'll need to complete first, but after you're registered, you should be able to vote. The votes will run until the 13th of September. So if you choose to register, but then go back after you found out more about the candidates, you do have some time. Now, the details, we did anticipate those going out by email, but it looks like those will be presented in the Discord. So keep attention to the announcements channel there sometime overnight or into tomorrow as we post those details. That will include ways to contact us. So you can always, of course, reach out to me at tex-oso on Discord, or our emails, as well as our Gitbook, which I'm linking here now, are all going to be accessible for you to review the voting policy, information about the candidates, and more. That's it for Open Source Committee there.
Thank you. Then let's move to the next one. Cardano Civics Committee, Daniele.
Hello. For those of you who don't know me, I am Danielle. I am the secretary for the Cardano Civics Committee. The Cardano Civics Committee started up last October, I believe, and we're running with about 9 seats for the election. So out of the 9 seats, that means half of them are up for re-election in October. So this is more of kind of a status update of what the committee has been up to. We have launched a series of constitutional workshops, which are hosted by community members. So that was facilitated through the Intersect Grants program. We have over 60 community members who've earned grants to run these workshops. And these workshops are designed to answer about 25 open questions on the draft constitution. So part of our work earlier this year was ensuring that there was an interim constitution in place for the Chang hard fork. So that is integrated into the Genesis file. And now there's a draft version that iterates and plugs in some holes that were existing in the interim constitution. So the interim constitution was intentionally minimalist and was lacking some details that we now fill in with the community in consultation throughout the summer. So each of these workshops has a time to address about 5 questions. The workshop materials I'm providing here include the draft constitution. So if anybody's interested, this is the link. Could I ask if somebody who's helping to moderate reposts these links? Because I'm not sure how the participants would otherwise click on them. So the draft constitution is available for anybody who would like to read it. Especially, we encourage people who are participating in these workshops to do that before they attend. New update, the open form is no longer coming soon. It is available with all 25 questions. So whether or not you participate in a workshop, you have the opportunity to answer all of the questions around the draft constitution and provide that via a feedback form. This is also great for people who don't have a workshop quite close enough to them or cannot make their local workshop. Gives you an opportunity to still provide your input on the draft constitution. So please do look at that if you're interested in having your say. And then finally, we want to then, in each of these workshops, the attendees get to elect a constitutional delegate and a traveling alternate. These are the people who are going to the Constitutional Convention, which will be held in the first week of December. And so Intersect will announce those elected delegates and alternates as those workshops conclude and as the elections are certified. So the Civics Committee is reviewing to make sure the elections were run accurately following the documented process. And so Intersect will then therefore announce. So we're working on getting a knowledge base page up to host that information. So you can go there to find also your local delegate or alternate to get in touch. Finally, then, call to action. If you're interested, please register for your local constitutional workshop. We have the big link here. We're using a Luma page to show all of the workshops happening around the world. You can go here, you can search by date, location, map, country. There's over 60 of them, so we do hope that most people have an opportunity to find one if they're interested. And this is all the work or result of the work of the Cardano Civics Committee. So we have been doing quite a bit this year, and it's been very exciting. And seeing all of the participation so far, I think about 10 workshops have already concluded. So we are well underway. Thank you.
Thank you for the updates. And yeah, about links, everything that is shared in the slide will be shared in chat. And if you are looking aftermath from the YouTube, and in the description, you will find meeting summaries and link to the slides and all the related documentation. And now moving to the budget committee updates.
I can cover for Lloyd. Hi, I'm Lawrence Clark. I'm the secretary for the budget committee. I'm working alongside Lloyd and Steve on the budget. So the budget committee has been set up at the moment with a small group of individuals looking to define the Cardano budget for 2025. So we are working through a definition of what's called a bucket at the moment, and list out, I think there's 5 buckets we're using, which is going to be set up for anyone in the community, not just the members, anyone in the community to gain access to funds which are drawn from the Treasury. So, for example, we will have a bucket called community grants. That bucket will be a fixed amount on ADA for 2025, and anyone within the community will be able to put a proposal through for access to that. And that includes the Catalyst. And Catalyst obviously is the primary applicant for the grants process. So the committee's there, it's up and running at the moment, and we do have space on the public website for you to see our terms of reference, and we have published our version 0.01 of the process. So this very much is in collaboration with a number of members. It's a straw man, and it fits alongside the constitutional process. For awareness, the committees that you're seeing here today will all be providing the budget committee with the proposed cost of what they would like for 2025. The budget committee will be working with the SMEs and individuals to define priorities and create a cost for each area. And it will be the budget's responsibility to maintain the budgets going into next year. So think of them as the CFO function for that area. So we will be raising the budget requests via the constitutional process. So we'll be working closely with the team and the DREPs, etc., to gain all approvals required for any of the requests we put through. So Intersect will be funding them through the constitutional on behalf of the community.
This will conclude all the updates from the committee's work group 6. There is a lot of plenty, as you can see, many things that and many groups that hasn't have a slide deck, but most likely we have a lot of updates to share. So if you want to get your insights into Intersect Town Hall, please share us updates in the Intersect Town Hall channel or make us a slide deck. Now let's move to the Intersect staff team updates. And there will be 3 different topics, and perhaps Jack or Nick want to take it away.
Yeah, hi guys, I can jump in on the AMM. So I think some of you may have sort of caught wind that we are planning to do an AMM. Originally, sorry, it was going to be in Tokyo in October. However, we're excited to say that we're changing it not to be just one event, but multiple events across multiple different regions led by our community hubs. So it's a much more bigger, but also smaller at the same time, because we're going to do multiple AMM events. So let me just sort of define what an annual members meeting is. Partly it's a legal responsibility. Intersect is a not-for-profit member-based organization established in Wyoming. It was incorporated on the 8th of December in 2023, and we have to have had an annual members meeting. Like all member-based organizations in a similar structure, we have to hold at least one of them per year. Naturally, it's annual, and we have to do so by the 8th of December. So instead of having one, as I said, we're going to do, how many here? We've got 7, but including a virtual one. There's a special town hall in October. And really, the annual members meetings are a chance for all of us to get together as members to look back at what's worked really well in the first year of Intersect, what we know we'd like to change and improve and make better for next year. We've still got a lot of work to do to make Intersect a really effective organization. There's been so much good work that's happened, so I'm really proud of and very humbled by everyone's efforts to date. It's not been easy to get us here, and members have done this work. So big thank you from me to the members that have helped us get here. And it's a chance together in October to talk about this. And it also links to the elections that Karen mentioned earlier. So we're going to have the committee elections open up during October. So the voting will be happening from the 4th of October to the 18th. And it's all online voting. So joining an event in person is not required to vote. Just to be super clear, all members will have the opportunity to vote via the members area when they log in. And we'll also be sort of talking about who's candidates for elections at these events, along with discussing the sort of future stuff about Intersect. As I talked about, Intersect's purpose really here is to build a product function for Cardano. What technical features do we want to see on the core infrastructure, but also how do we want to utilize the Cardano treasury in 2025 and beyond for things like core infrastructure development, but also innovation such as Catalyst, marketing, and a bunch of other initiatives that Lawrence talked about previously with the budget committee. That's all feeding into some of the discussions and feedback that we want members to be discussing and talking about to make sure that everything that we're doing here is community and member led. So this is all part of the content that we're going to be doing through the annual members meetings in October. So there will be Luma links for these events. It is members only, so it's quite important to say that if you're a paid member of Intersect, you are eligible to attend. There will be some capacity. Obviously, it will get to a point where the venue in Tokyo, for example, can't have any more people, but there will always be options to join the special virtual town hall on the 8th of October for those that are not in those regions or able to get to it. Great. Thank you. Thanks, Tiva.
Allow me to do a correction there for the recording. Is that the Japan event is on the 3rd, not on the 4th. It was clarified on the chat, but for the recording, it's on the 3rd, Thursday, 3rd.
Perfect. Thank you, Tivo. So my name is Nick Cook. I'm responsible for membership and community hubs, and we talk quite a bit about community hubs at Intersect and also outwardly with the community. It's becoming a growing thing for us. So I wanted to talk today just a little bit about what a hub is, why we have community hubs, and what they're actually doing for us. So effectively, a community hub is, you could say, a group, a club, set up regionally by community members and supported by Intersect through our grant funding process. And we've set these up for a number of reasons, mainly to engage both our current members and those in the Cardano community and the ecosystem, and to drive further engagement with people who are either interested or not currently within the Cardano ecosystem or the Intersect fold from everywhere around the world, essentially. Also to foster participation and collaboration, which are really important to us in terms of community members and our ecosystem partners, to drive people to work together, to find out what's going on within the ecosystem, within Intersect, to join in, to take part, to learn, and actively gain some knowledge. So we're also looking to provide localized education and learning content in some regions. Obviously, we have community hubs in a number of places, and each of the needs of the communities in those places is very different. So what a community hub actually does on the ground is very different by location and the needs and wants of its localized community, so that we're customizing almost our approach and what those local individuals need and that community wants by its actual location. So how do the hubs do this? Well, effectively, we leave that down to them to tell us what they feel is going to be most effective in their region in terms of communications, cutting through, connecting with people. So that could be running localized events and meetups. It could be attending industry-based events and representing Intersect. It could be online events, X spaces, regional town halls, running events, including both DREP and constitutional workshops, which all of our hubs are doing this year, and providing access and learning platforms. Also leveraging the resources of the Intersect team. So we're able to support a number of these hubs in running activities, in helping to set up events and provide general resource to help with those. Currently, we have 4 hubs, one in Japan, one in Sri Lanka, one in LATAM, and one in sub-Saharan Africa. And what's really interesting for those hubs is how they're impacting what we're doing in terms of people getting involved and people actually joining as members of Intersect. So these are our current membership statistics. So we've got just shy of 3,000 people who have shown an interest in joining and being part of Intersect. Over 2,000 of those have actually become associates, which means they get our weekly development report and other letters and newsletters and information that comes out to them. We're currently sitting today at over 800 members, which is pretty impressive considering we only launched our membership drive at the very last days of May, and 27 enterprise members, and our membership for enterprise only opened maybe 4 weeks ago. So from our number of community hubs of 4, which is soon to be 6, because we're launching one in North America out of Chicago and another one in Europe out of Portugal, 41% of our current membership base has been generated through those hubs and linked to those hubs. So an amazing success for us. And 31% of our overall membership base has been delivered through our Japanese hub, which again is a huge success in what is quite culturally a quiet community for us. And 35% of associates have been delivered via Intersect hubs as well. So I think, you know, we're very proud of the hubs that we've set up, launched and are building, and they're really starting to now to deliver a huge amount of value in bringing people together, in getting people to collaborate, participate, and really get involved in what's going on in Intersect and the wider ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you. And the next slide is Cardano Community Survey. Tex, would you like to
hey,
share?
Everybody. Yeah, no problem. It's Tex once again. I am presenting on behalf of our team that manages DREPs here at Intersect. So they have a community survey that is out there as of now. You can access that here through the QR code. And the goal here, of course, as you can see, is to capture a snapshot of the current state of DREPs across the Cardano community, find out where they're located, what are their main motivations, and help identify any barriers or gaps that may prevent others from becoming those DREPs. So we absolutely want you to share your thoughts so we can get that back to the team and increase this process, as we do want this to be here for you, the community. We do desire any and every bit of input that you have. Thanks.
Very cool. Thank you. And now we're getting almost at the end. But before we move to the next step, we had a polling going on. So I think it's now time to close it. And so that also the people who are watching Aftermath can see how the people answer on which words do you think are the most misunderstood or misused in Intersect. So take that information as it will. Looks like governance is the main one that people are misusing, and the next one would be decentralized. But now moving to the connect and integrate part. And so last time, if you remember, we have tried to do this several times now. And last time the feedback was that there should be more guiding material on the slide itself. And so initially what's going to happen is we're going to create 3 people groups. So for right now, we have around nearly 40 people. So there's going to be about 13 breakout rooms. Each group will automatically assign to their own breakout room. So you don't select yourself the room, although there might be a button that asks you to join a room. Each person will have about 2 minutes to share something meaningful about themselves. And this can be anything about who are you, what do you do in Intersect, why are you here? And this is a way to kind of get to know each other. Or if you have some tasty rumor to share or some announcement that was not shared in the town hall, that's also an opportunity. After 7 minutes, we join back to the main room and orient ourselves to the after town hall session. And our process takes about 3 minutes just here explaining, 7 minutes the rooms, and 2 minutes orienting back. If there is any questions, something you want to share, meanwhile, it's an open mic.
Would you have a quick preview of the after town hall?
After we join back from the breakout rooms, will that work? Or you could share hints in the breakout room themselves that would that work?
Looking forward to seeing people afterward.
Okay. And then how many rooms that would be? 14, 20. Let's create 13 rooms. And there may be situations where some people are not actually being able to be present. So then we will manually assign people to different rooms. And I see new people joining. Hello. And there should be a pop-up window that asks you to join a room. If it is not a pop-up, on the below you have buttons for breakout rooms and then join a breakout room so that those who are in these rooms are not there alone and you have an opportunity to share a bit about yourself. Who are you? Why are you here? What you do in Intersect? I just realized every time we start that town hall, I have never introduced myself. So I am Teo. I'm I'm one of the members in Intersect Town Hall team. We got grant funding, and I try to do most at the project management side and keeping the documentation coordinated between different members, both in Intersect and those who are joining our new. While the rooms are closing in 9 seconds, Nick, Nori, how did your discussion went?
It was a good catch up because Nori and I know each other, so it was nice to have a bit of one-on-one time, which we don't usually get. So nice.
Yeah. Ditto. It was nice just to have some space to catch up.
That was cool. And sorry that I was late, guys. I actually had a meeting that was till 12:30, and then it ran over about 15 extra minutes. So I apologize for being late.
Yeah, it's okay, Lloyd. Lawrence covered your bit anyway, so it was okay.
Glad he was here. Thank you, Lawrence.
Thank you. We don't know, were you also thrown in a room, and how did everybody feel about these kinds of small experiment? From an administrator side, it is a bit sometimes challenging because this time around 9 people wasn't able to join the rooms or discuss. So there were people in rooms again alone. So I was throwing people around. Some people maybe had new people joining in as they noticed. But from the participant side, how did you feel about these small breakout rooms and having a chat with other people on anything?
Yeah, it's nice, Tivo, just to be thrown into a room. So you never know what you're going to get. Yeah, I knew who I was speaking to, so it was fine. It wasn't no anxiety, but it's good.
Yeah, it was very useful. It was actually somebody that I needed to talk to anyway, so it ended up being actually quite productive.
It's good to meet new people.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was good. Just maybe I got moved around for a few empty rooms. It might be easier to do smaller rooms, fewer rooms with bigger groups, and people can just feed through and introduce more people faster. But I met a fellow South African, which was pretty cool. Hello, Bernard.
I think it was really good, and it should be longer because you don't really get a chance to know someone in 5 minutes, and we should do it all the time because it's talking to a wall of people on your screen. It's never really get to know anybody, even people you work with, like a lot of their familiar faces. I know nothing about them.
Yeah, I would just to add into that, like the having fewer rooms, like 7, it was just me and one other person, and we had 7 minutes, and I feel like we didn't even get to really talk about hardly anything. So I don't know, just multiple voices, but yeah, I like the rooms, is what I'm trying to say.
Interesting. That is, does anybody have some negative side of that? What on this experiment? Because we have had some anonymous feedback, and that these things are not good in these calls.
I don't think you can be anonymous in governance. I think maybe Hosky's the only one who gets away with that, but that's because he's also not really anonymous. Like a lot of people know who he is. So
Good point. I mean, I just think it should be longer, and they should maybe do it as a kind of like, you know, a regular thing. Just have a 5-10 minute meeting. You can always leave the room if you really don't want to talk. But we're used to this stuff, aren't we? We're used to this screen stuff.
Good. Glad that you liked it. Then hopefully we get to do that again next month and extend a bit of time, add minimum 4 people in the room so that there is a higher chance that there are going to be more people to chat with. And right now I'm going to open up a new breakout rooms. Oh yeah, I'm not sharing screen too. So one thing on that, if you found something or somebody that was very interesting to talk to, there will be open rooms where you can just catch up, send them a direct message and discuss with them. Moving now to the after town halls, and we have quite a tensionless week and actually entire month. And this was also one of the vacation months for us. So there was something on framework that failed, and that caused even more misinformation and confusion in how the town halls are run. And this has gotten quite difficult. So I would like to invite everybody to this What's Wrong with Town Hall breakout room. I will open up the breakout room now, and also I opened up 2 open rooms so that if you have somebody to this chit chat with something, open topic, you can do so. If you have a topic that you would want to propose to somebody else, this would be the time to do it right now, and then we can rename the rooms. But in future, as we showed previously, there is an after town hall slide. You can submit, and then it's all planned beforehand, and everybody is aware what's coming in these town halls. If you don't know how to join a breakout room, so this time you have to select it yourself. So on the bottom half, you have the option either breakout rooms, or if you don't have the icon, then under more selection, you have a bird called breakout rooms. If you open up, it opens a panel where you have C3 rooms, and you can click join to enter that room. I will be going to that room also shortly, just making sure in here that everybody knows what to do. And the breakout room will be recorded, so if you are not able to stay tuned, then you can watch it later from Swarm YouTube. For those who are joining here or staying here, do you have any questions for Intersect Town Hall or about the breakout room or anything about Intersect?
I'm not 100% sure what to do, but I guess I'm used to open source stuff in general. Should I guess join the breakout room, or I'm not actually sure enough how to use Zoom to find it.
So in the bottom you have icons. If there is not the word breakout rooms, then usually the last icon is more or 3 dots. If you open it up, it has a list of stuff. And when you start from the list at the top, there is a breakout rooms. It should open up a panel, and the panel has a list of names and join button next to the name.
Okay, so I just go there for the rest of the meeting, or?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be there. Cheers.
Stefan or Vani, are we going to that room?
I mean,
yeah, I can.
One of us should stay here just in case of any lost people. I don't mind doing that.
Cool.